Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been handed some pretty interesting material today, like a blueprint almost. A blueprint for you.
Yeah, for your body.
Yeah. It's all about the stuff we put in our
With
bodies.
fuel, the
Yeah.
building blocks.
Exactly. The fuel, the building blocks, everything. And we're going to break it down.
Yeah, we're going to dive deep.
We are going to dive deep. So we're looking at carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, which are, are fats.
So the big ones?
Those are the big ones. Vitamins, minerals. Oh, and of course, the most important thing, water.
Absolutely.
So think of it like this. You're a mechanic. You got your toolbox. It's full of all these different tools, right?
Hmm.
And they all do different things, but they all have a purpose. And that purpose is to keep that engine running.
Yeah. And in this case, the engine is you.
The engine is you. So first up, let's talk about carbohydrates. This is kind of like the gasoline for the car. It's like the primary source of energy. Now, at the most basic level, carbohydrates are made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
Those are the atoms, the building blocks.
Yeah. And how are they linked together? Do you know?
Well, they form these structures, these chains, and those determine whether it's a simple sugar or a complex carbohydrate.
Okay, so tell me more about simple versus complex.
So simple sugars are like single units. Think glucose or fructose. Like fructose, what makes fruit sweet.
Okay, so like a single Lego brick.
Exactly, a single Lego brick. And then you have complex carbohydrates, which are long chains of those simple sugar units.
Okay, so like a bunch of Lego bricks snapped together.
Exactly. So those come in two main forms: starches, which you find in things like grains, potatoes, and vegetables, and then fiber. That's also a complex carb, but it's kind of a special type of Lego brick.
And what's special about it?
Well, our bodies can't actually break down fiber,
Oh, interesting. So it just kind of passes through.
pretty much. But that doesn't mean it's not important. It's like those textured Lego bricks that add, detail and complexity to the whole structure.
Okay, I gotcha. So no matter what kind of carbohydrate Lego structure we eat, our body has to break it down, right?
That's right. And it breaks it all down into glucose.
So it's like all those different Lego creations, big or small, they all get disassembled back to the same basic brick.
Then that basic brick is glucose. And glucose is what our cells use for energy.
It's like the universal energy currency.
Exactly. Now, what if you eat more carbs than your body needs for energy right away?
Good question. What happens then?
Well, your body can store some of that extra glucose as glycogen. It's like a small reserve fuel tank.
Okay, so it's like a little stash of those glucose Lego bricks ready to go.
Exactly. But there's a limit to how much glycogen you can store.
Ah, okay, so what happens to the rest?
Well, your body can convert excess glucose into fat for longer-term storage.
It's like those extra fuel cans you keep in the garage just in case.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to proteins. These are the builders and repairers.
Okay, so if carbs are the fuel, proteins are the construction crew.
Perfect analogy. They're made up of smaller units called amino acids. Imagine those as like specialized types of bricks.
Specialized bricks, I like that.
Some of those amino acid bricks are essential, meaning our bodies can't make them. We have to get them from our diet.
Oh, that's interesting, like needing to order specific types of bricks that aren't available locally.
Exactly. Now, where do we find these protein bricks?
Where indeed.
Well, we have animal sources: meat, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy. These are often complete protein sources, meaning they provide all the essential amino acids in one go.
Okay, so that's like a complete set of building materials.
Precisely. And then we have plant-based sources: beans, lentils, nuts, seeds. These may not always have all the essential amino acids individually, but by combining different plant sources, you can make sure you're getting everything you need.
That's good to know. So proteins are not just for building and repairing, right? What else do they do?
You're right. They also make hormones, which act like messengers in the body carrying instructions around, and enzymes, which are like specialized tools that speed up all sorts of chemical reactions.
So proteins are pretty darn important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Generally, it's recommended that protein makes up about 10 to 35% of your daily calorie intake.
Okay, good to know. Next up, lipids, otherwise known as fats,
Superfuel.
the superfuel. Now, fats are kind of like high-density energy pellets, right?
Got it. And they're made up of fatty acids attached to a glycerol backbone.
Glycerol backbone.
Yeah, picture a short spine with long chains dangling off it.
Okay, I can see that. And those long chains, those are the fatty acids.
Right. And there are different types of fatty acids, which lead to different types of fats.
Okay, so break it down for me. What are the different types?
Well, you have saturated fats. These are often solid at room temperature, like butter. and they're found in animal products and some plant oils.
Okay. But
Then you have unsaturated fats. They tend to be liquid at room temperature, like olive oil, and you find them in plant oils and fish.
okay. And I've heard of trans fats. Those are the bad guys, right?
They're not great. They're often artificially produced. It's kind of like a synthetic fuel.
Best used sparingly.
Exactly. Now, it's important to remember that fats have some important roles beyond just energy storage. They act as insulation.
Like a cozy blanket,
Yeah, keeping you warm. They also cushion and protect your organs.
like bubble wrap.
And they're essential for helping your body absorb certain vitamins, specifically the fat-soluble vitamins.
Like vitamins A, D, E, and K.
Exactly. So think of fats as the delivery trucks for those vitamins.
That's a good way to think about it. Now let's talk about vitamins and minerals. These are like the tiny but mighty players, right?
Like the little tools or maybe the special lubricants that keep a complex machine running smoothly.
Okay, I like that. So you only need them in small amounts, but they're absolutely essential.
Right. And vitamins are either water-soluble or fat-soluble.
So what's the difference there?
Water-soluble vitamins, like the B vitamins and vitamin C, dissolve easily in water.
So they're kind of like in and out. You need to replenish them regularly.
Exactly. Fat-soluble vitamins, like A, D, E, and K, can be stored in the body.
So it's like keeping those tools in a toolbox for later use.
Exactly. And then you have minerals, which are inorganic substances that are also vital for various processes.
What are some examples of those?
Well, you have calcium,
Mm.
which is crucial for strong bones.
Yeah, like the steel beams in a building.
Then you have iron, which is essential for carrying oxygen in your blood, like delivery trucks on a highway.
And sodium.
Sodium plays a key role in maintaining fluid balance, like regulating the water level in a system.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do we make sure we're getting all these micronutrients?
The key is to eat a variety of foods. A balanced intake is super important.
Absolutely. And speaking of essential things, let's not forget about water. It's easy to take it for granted, but it's fundamental.
Yeah, it's like the coolant in an engine.
Yeah.
Keeps everything running smoothly and prevents overheating.
Okay, so it keeps us from overheating too.
Absolutely. And it does so much more than that. It carries nutrients throughout the body, removes waste products, and it actually makes up a huge percentage of our body weight.
Wow, how much?
About 50 to 60% of an adult's body weight is water.
That's a lot. I mean, it makes sense, but it's still surprising to hear. So with all these components, it really comes down to balance, right?
Right. Think of your body like a bank account. Energy balance is the relationship between the calories you deposit through food and the calories you withdraw through activity.
Okay, so if you keep depositing more than you withdraw,
You'll gain weight,
and if you withdraw more than you deposit,
you'll lose weight.
makes sense. And it's important to remember that a really unhealthy relationship with food and body image can lead to serious imbalances, as we saw in the material.
Definitely. That's something to be mindful of.
So to wrap up our deep dive, I think the big takeaway here is that just like understanding all the components in a complex machine, knowing about carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water gives us the power to make informed choices about what we fuel our bodies with.
Yeah. And when you think about it, all these intricate components work together in such a precise way. It makes you wonder what one small, seemingly insignificant change in your daily food intake might have a surprisingly large positive ripple effect on your overall well-being.
That's a great question to ponder. And with that, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.